my name's Maddi Stewart, and I'm a physical therapist at Therapy in Motion in Norman, Oklahoma. Today I'll be talking to you about balance, what it is, how to improve it, and a little bit of statistics about why it's important for our lives. So first of all, what is balance? Balance is the ability to maintain your center of gravity within our base of support. And that can be different for every person, whether we walk and stand with a very narrow base of support, really close feet together, or if we stand with a very wide base of support, so our feet are a little bit wider apart. So first we're going to get into a little bit of statistics. Did you know that falls are the leading causes of fatal and non-fatal injuries in older adults? 65% of people over 60 experience dizziness, and a third of adults over 65 fall each year. 25% of falls result in decreased mobility and independence, whether that be because of an injury or hospitalization. Injuries from falls account for 20% of all healthcare costs. Can you imagine if we just improve our balance, how much we can decrease healthcare cost? So some typical fall injuries that people experience are injuries or fractures of the hips, spine, traumatic brain injuries, and fractures to the wrist. Some symptoms that people may experience are dizziness, vertigo, lightheadedness, fainting, unsteadiness, nausea, or disorientation. So balance requires input from many different systems and things in our body, and these all include vision, hearing, proprioception, writing reactions, our inner ear, and our vestibular system. So some fall risks that we all experience, whether you're young or you're a little bit older, are after surgery, diabetic neuropathy when you really can't feel your feet on the ground anymore, cognitive impairment, and vision impairment. To continue on this a little bit more, hearing loss, strokes, environmental changes like different surfaces, whether you're walking on a hard surface like concrete or walking through the grass or a field. Poor coordination, medications, and then neurological effects. So to prevent falls, some things that you can do are come to physical therapy. You can do group classes like yoga or just strength training classes at your local gym. You can change your footwear. So a lot of times people like to wear those really high shoes that have the high support on the heel. Usually those challenge our balance more than they help us. You can change your environment. So in your home, a lot of people like to have rugs everywhere. They look really nice, but oftentimes those can be a really bad fall risk. And then just individualize your fall prevention. Like we already talked about, moving those rugs, maybe even putting a sticky thing underneath your rug so that your rug doesn't slip when you do step on it. So some treatments we can use to help improve our balance are balance retraining, muscle strengthening, and sensory functional integration. So our treatment progression, which we often use in physical therapy here, but you can also use it at your local gym, the YMCA. So we want to start stationary with our balance, especially if our balance isn't very good. So what we would do is just stand still, and we can do balance for a certain amount of seconds. Here at Therapy in Motion, we do 3 for 30 seconds or a little bit longer if you're more advanced. After you get a good grasp on that stationary balance, then we want to move into a moving motion. So even just squats, mini squats is what we call them at Therapy in Motion. Mini squats, that challenges your balance. You may think of it as a strengthening exercise, but you're having to maintain balance without hanging on to anything. So mini squats, you can do high knees, up like this without hanging on to anything, but if you do need something to hang on to, make sure you're near a tabletop or a chair. So then body position. A lot of times we'll start with trunk control. So we'll start sitting without our feet on the ground. We can do passing a ball back and forth. We can do passing a ball at different angles so that patient is having to move, get their balance, and then catch the ball and then throw it back to us. We can do different things like sitting to standing. So that is a very functional movement that we all use every day of our lives. So just getting on a firm chair, knees are going to be about 90 degrees. So say I'm sitting in a chair. You're going to go here. We're going to push up and stand, make sure we've got our balance, and then we're going to just sit back down. So up and down, we usually do about 3 sets of 10 or whatever you can tolerate. So the next thing, base of support. We talked about it a little bit earlier, starting with wide base of support. Wide base of support is easier than narrow base of support. So what we usually do with balance, if someone's struggling with balance, we'll start with a very wide base of support. So feet about a foot apart. We'll just stand here. If this is super easy, we may move it to feet touching. So we'll go here, feet touching. And then to challenge it a little bit more, we'll go into a tandem stance. So we'll put one foot in front of the other, right foot in front of left. We'll stand here, not touching anything. And then we'll kind of switch. We'll do left in front of right. The next thing you could do to challenge your balance is using a firm surface versus something that's a little bit more unstable. So at a clinic, we have these blue foam pads. They're just squishy. At home, you could use a pillow. So we'll just stand on here, and same thing, you can start with wide base of support, so feet shoulder width apart, and then as you get better and better, you can start putting those feet closer together. You can even do tandem stance on here, one foot in front of the other. Another dynamic thing you can do to challenge your balance is walking. We call it ambulation. So you want to start on a level surface, which would just be hard ground like tile or carpet. Start walking on that level surface, just normal walking. If you want to challenge yourself, you can tandem walk, so one foot in front of the other, kind of like you're on a balance beam. And then what you could do is maybe line up some pillows in your house to challenge that surface. It's an uneven surface, or you could just go out into your backyard. Next is balance equipment. So you could use anything from tape to make a line on the floor. You're going to kind of just maintain that balance on that piece of tape, or it could just be a visual feedback so that you're not stepping over that line whenever you're balancing. Some other things you could use is the corner in the wall. So what we like to do here when we're kind of crowded, we've got a lot of patients that come in, stand in the corner. You can put your hands here. Think of a corner right here. My hands are here, not touching the wall, but they're there just in case I need to use them. We can do body sways side to side. We can go forward, backward. We can even go up on our toes and then lift the toes off the ground. So we already talked about pillows as being a way to challenge your balance. You're on an uneven surface with a pillow. You can use 2 chairs to hang on to if you don't have a good corner in your house. The Wii Fit also has some really cool balance activities if you happen to have a Wii. And then we have things here at the clinic that we can use. It's called a biodex. So it's a platform you stand on. We've got some handrails, and we have different things on the screen you can go through, like a maze. So essentially, you're the little dot on the screen, and as you're standing on that platform, you kind of shift your weight forward and backward, and we can get an objective measurement by measuring the percent that you get correct on that biodex. So once you get really good at your balance, you can start moving to those dynamic exercises. So a lot of the ones that we use with athletes are called step and stick. So what we'll do, we'll start standing on one foot. You've got my right foot up right now. So what I'm gonna do is hop forward a little bit and then stick onto that right foot. So I'm just gonna hop, land with your knee bent, and then you can either step back to do another one, or you can hop back and forth. So I'm on my right foot, I'm gonna hop back, and I'm gonna hop back forward onto that foot. And then you can switch feet, do it on your left foot too. Another thing you can do is single leg stacking. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna stand on one leg. You can maybe have cups. A lot of people have plastic cups in their house. So you've got a stack of cups here. What you can do is stack them over here. You can watch yourself stack them. Ooh, this is even hard for me, and I don't even have the cups. And then you'll use your other hand and you'll do the same thing. Another thing you can do is leg swings in the doorway. So you'll stand in the doorway in case you do need to hang onto that frame. And then you just swing your leg forward, backward, and then you can also go out to the side. Thank you all so much for watching today's segment on our Healthy Living series about balance. I really hope you guys find some benefit from watching today.